Welcome back to Creatively Montessori. If you are new to our channel, thank you for coming by. If you are a subscriber, I'm so glad you're able to join me again. Today I'm going to show you a presentation on flower arranging. Flower arranging you could have in your infant, toddler, early childhood, even elementary classroom. This one is set up for the toddler or primary classroom. It's appropriate for toddlers because there's nothing in here that's so small as to be a choking hazard. I wouldn't have this in the infant environment just because these are glass. So in the infant environment, you again would have flowers. You'd have to make sure that the tips of them weren't sharp or easy for them to poke themselves with. And then I would have some vase made out of something other than glass, just because of how the infants are, quite frankly. So this is the basket I would have out sometime February, March, April. I get my flowers, typically either parents donate them or I get them from the dollar store. It is important that you shop for the flowers often because they actually do flowers at the Dollar Tree seasonally. And so if you go looking for flowers at the Dollar Tree in December, you're probably only going to find white poinsettias. You're probably not going to find daisies and peonies and carnations. Same thing if you are looking for poinsettias, you're probably not going to find them at the Dollar Tree in May. The other place I like to get flowers, and actually sometimes they're a better price, is at Walmart. I love the flowers at Hobby Lobby. They're just so much more expensive per stem that I tend not to do it. The flowers are a little bit on the cheap side, and so I do sometimes take a little glue gun and I will kind of zhuzh them up a little bit so that they are a little bit more substantial. I did one year have a teacher I worked with when we taught lower elementary, the early childhood classroom, primary, and she happened to live by a floral warehouse, and she went in one day and just told them we were Montessori teachers and we wanted to do flower arranging, and they were willing to give her, if we were willing to go pick it up, they were willing to give her all of their leftover flowers. And so they weren't the most perfect flowers. They were roses that might have, what looked like half their petals on them, but they were still so beautiful. And that year, I remember how much the children loved flower arranging. I know there are some Montessori schools where they ask parents to donate flowers, 2 or 3 bunches of flowers every week. And they don't have to be fancy flowers. They can be the seasonal flowers, what is blooming right then. They can be carnations and, lilies that come from somebody's garden. They don't have to be a dozen red roses. And actually, I prefer them not to be dozen red roses. So I just have a variety in here. I do try and put things that I think would be pleasing together. It is interesting. Sometimes I have more colors than this in a basket, and it's interesting to see what the children do. These are small bud vases that I do actually think that I got from the Dollar Tree. They might have come from the Target dollar spot. And I don't do anything to them. I don't fancy them up, paint them or anything like that in any way. There are other things I have found that work well for this as well. I oftentimes get food containers that work really well. I do sometimes put a little ribbon here if I want them to be a little bit prettier. But it's flower arranging, so we take our vases and we just look and decide what flower combination we want to do. I think I'm going to do a flower arrangement with all white flowers. And we look at it and we decide how we want to put it together. And then what's really cool for the friends, sometimes they add a little bit more to it. Sometimes they're happy with just a single flower in there, is that when they do this work in the classroom, they are then invited to put it on a shelf in the classroom, or no, excuse me, a shelf or a table in the classroom. And so you might have multiple baskets out. I don't tend to put more than 2 or 3 vases in one basket. I think there's a higher likelihood it gets dropped and they get broken that way. But 2 or 3 has just worked for me. But the children really enjoy it. And then at the end of the morning, before we set up lit for lunch, because we do eat in our classrooms, the children know that part of setting up for lunch is cleaning the tables, and cleaning the tables involves restoring this material and putting it back on the shelf with everything removed. Now, when we had live flowers that one year I was telling you about, we didn't do that. We just left them. We left them out, and we needed a lot more vases that year. By the way, we would take flowers to the principal's office or to the secretary or we would send them over to other classrooms that didn't have flower arranging. And boy, did it get us in good favor with those staff members all year long. So that was a nice feature. This is flower arranging. It is part of the practical life area of the classroom, and it's part of the care of environment. We are beautifying our environment, and so that's where this material would go. I would love to hear about your flower arranging activities, what time of year you like to do this. I have this out all year, and I change the flowers and the vases. Do you have it out all year? Is there a place that you found you can get flowers other than, I know you can get them at the thrift store, I know you can get them at garage sales oftentimes. How do you keep your material looking nice? What are some tips or tricks you can share with others who are seeing this video and would like to create this work? Please go ahead and smash that thumbs up like button. If you aren't already a subscriber, I sure would appreciate your support of my channel in becoming a subscriber. And I hope to see you tomorrow for our next video.